Multisensory learning involves the use of visual, auditory, and kinesthetic or tactile pathways at the same time to enhance the memory and learning of written language. Links are consistently being made between what we see, what we hear, and what we feel. And when we engage multiple senses in the learning process, we are providing students with more ways for understanding new information and ways to remember and recall it later. But more importantly, it's fun and students love it. Hi, my name is Mrs. LaHue, and I'm an intervention specialist at the Middletown Area School District. Our goal in this presentation is to provide you with a few practical multisensory activities that use common household items and are fun for students, so much so that they may not even realize they're learning in the process. These activities may be adapted for varying skill levels, so whether your child is working on letter or sound identification, word families, or various phonics skills, most of these activities could be used. Your child's teacher or your school's reading specialist can give you more specific information about which skill your child is working on, and they can also provide you with specific word lists if you need. Please do not hesitate to contact them for more information about your child or clarification on how any of the following activities could be used with a specific skill. When working with your child on any of the following activities, it's important to use correct letter sounds. For example, the letter M spells the sound M, not M, and the letter T spells the sound T, not T, T. We want to make sure that students are clipping their sounds. For more guidance on this, on the correct articulation of letter sounds, you can refer to our video on correct letter sounds. A simple activity to begin with is to use different mediums for students to practice writing letters or words. They can use their finger to write in Jell-O, sand, shaving cream, or powder. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a lot of fun. You can make a paint bag by adding a small amount of paint to a Ziploc baggie. You just want to be sure that the bag has a strong seal. Then students can use their finger or a Q-tip on the paint bag. They can use Play-Doh and write with a wooden stick, or even form the letters and words with the dough itself. Another fun idea is to go outside and use the sidewalk chalk. For more information on how to use these and some other mediums, you can refer to our video on teaching letters and sounds. Disappearing ink. In this activity, you can use a chalkboard or your sidewalk. You write a group of letters or words and ask your child to find a specific letter, sound, or word using a spray bottle filled with water. Here's the fun part. Have your child spray in a tracing motion over the letter or word. For example, you may have a group of letters written in chalk and then ask your child to find the letter B. The child then takes the water bottle and squirts the letter B, forming the letter with the hand motions as they're squirting away. Or perhaps they're working on sounds. In that case, you can have them find the letter that spells the sound B. Another fun activity, reappearing or magic ink. In this activity, you can use a white crayon or a white oil pastel to write letters, words, or sentences. Using a paintbrush dipped in a small amount of water and food coloring, have your child paint over the paper and watch the print magically appear. Have your child identify or read what is on the page. If you don't have any food coloring handy, no worries. You could use watered down acrylic paint, watercolors, or you can even remove the cap from a marker and submerge the tip in water. Then the ink will leak into the water, giving it a similar effect to food coloring. For this activity on the go, this is great when you are running errands with your child or just going out for a walk. You will need a paper plate, marker, and scissors. You want to add letters around the outside of the paper plate and make a small cut in between each letter. Take the plate with you when you leave the house. For letter identification practice, simply have your child fold down the letter as he spots the letter in his surroundings. If your child is working on phonics, they can fold down the letter that spells the sound of a specific object they see. For example, if they're outside and they see grass, they could fold down the letter G. Rainbow rice sensory tub. For this activity, you want to fill a plastic container or tub with rainbow rice. Rainbow rice is just rice that has been soaked in food coloring. There is a recipe included on the next slide, but you could just use plain rice too. Next, fill the tub with magnetic letters, puzzle piece letters, or stones with letters or words written on them. You can ask your child to dig until they find a specific letter or sound or word, or you could have them close their eyes and retrieve something from the bin and identify or read what they pull out. For students working with phonics, you could even write the words on the stones that together make a sentence. Have the students fish out the stones and then put them together to recreate the sentence. And this is a slide that has the recipe for rainbow rice. The activity ball toss is a great one to do inside with a small koosh ball or beach ball, or you could take the fun outside with a volleyball, soccer ball, or football. One player calls out a sound and tosses the ball to another person, who then responds with a word that begins with the same sound. Next, that player calls out a new sound and tosses the ball to someone else, who in turn responds with the corresponding word. For example, you may start out with the sound B, pass it to another player who then says bagel, or you may say pass it and another player says mustard. To make it more challenging, try it with ending sounds. You could even practice sounds within a word. For example, if the child is working on the short A sound, which is at, you could lead with words like lap, dad, or chat. This activity could even be adapted to practice vocabulary by choosing synonyms, antonyms, or even categorizing. For example, the word cold. You can toss the ball and think of different things that are cold, or you can think of other words for cold, such as chilly or frigid, or you could think of antonyms for the word cold, like hot or steamy. Playing with different fonts. In this activity, the parent chooses 3 targeted letters or phonics patterns. Using magazines, newspapers, cereal boxes, food labels, product packaging, or whatever you have around the house, the student finds different fonts that match the targeted letters or patterns. To make it easier for younger students, you could provide the words or letters and have your child sort them. You could also create a Word document on the computer that includes the targeted letters or patterns in different fonts, then print out the document and have your child cut out the words or letters and sort them. Spinners. This activity is great for practicing word families or blending sounds to make words. For this, you will need a paper towel or toilet paper roll, a pair of scissors, and a hanger. Cut your paper towel roll into sections. Write a word family such as at or am on one section. Next, write the first sounds of the word families on another piece of cut tube. Then you can slide your tube pieces on and replace the hanger end back inside the bar. Now your child can spin the first letter or sound of the word to make different words. You could also do this activity with 3 separate sounds to practice blending. Flipbook is a variation of the spinner's activity. You take a small spiral notebook and cut it into 3 sections. On the middle section, you write the vowels, and on the first and last section, you write consonants. Let the children flip the pages and read the words that appear. The point of the phonics flip chart is not so much to spell the words, but to practice sounding them out. So PAG is not really a word, but the practice of sounding it out can help our children in future words, helping them grasp the concept of letters and how they form words. We hope that you will enjoy doing some of these activities with your child. Again, please do not hesitate to contact your child's teacher or reading specialist for clarification on how any of the activities could be used with a certain skill or for specific information about your child.